Okay, here we go, right? Here we go. Good morning. Welcome to yet another episode of Red Stone Lapis Lazuli. It is I, your host, Pogo Kiddo. Let's try the switch here. Let's try the switch. Switch. Alley. Oh, here. Alley oop. Crash. I don't know. I don't know why it does that, but it does. That's just the way it is, man. That's just the way it is. That's the way it goes. That's the way, I like it. No, I don't. I don't like it that way. If I had my druthers, I wouldn't do it this way. It would be like a switch, a seamless switch, and nothing would have happened. Yeah. Let's see what happens when I throw up. Okay, there we go. Alright, I got my frame rates up there that I can see, but you can't. Ha 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 ha. Okay, so hey, where are we? We are in... Whoa. A fantastic machine I've built. A fantastic machine. This is the bowels of the Nether train station. I'm in the Nether. Da-da-dum. That place I try not to go to. And yeah, here let's see what it looks like from the front. Right. Let's imagine you came in through the front door, right? Through the portal. You're like, you warp in through the portal, and this is what you see. It's not much, right? It's just like a square, and I don't have any place to go yet. But when I do, you'll pick them, and if you don't like that one, you can pick another one, right? And if you're too fast, and you do something like that, that's not gonna work. That's just gonna wreck things. So you can reset right here. Spiffy, right? And then you get into the minecart and it will take you to where you need to go, and then if nowhere, then you go back and it smacks you. Okay, I don't know why it smacks you, it just does. So yeah, here let's look how this thing works really quick. Like, oh wait, it says I'm not here. I mean, let's there we go. Okay, all right. So yeah, let's look at how this thing works, right? I color-coded the whole thing, so it makes sense. The lime green is the track. So we're going to ignore this part for right now, and we're just going to go along the lime green track. The first thing you get to is the dark green. You can't really tell the difference, but there's a difference. The dark green, this determines if you are an empty minecart or not. If you are empty, you will go underneath the tripwire. Underneath it, and then that means the track sends you this way, and it sends you back toward the cactus, which will reset the minecart and put it back into the elevator system. But if you're a person, you trip the wire, and so that you see that fires off the redstone, that flips the track, and makes you go straight. So you're going to keep going straight. The next thing you're going to hit is this purple line, which is a detector rail. That's going to pump out a signal into this line of repeaters, which just sends a signal in a circle up to this redstone brick, which is the reset button. I should change this color to purple, but yeah, this is the reset line. Okay, so that just resets the track after a timer. When that gets there, it'll reset. But until that gets there, it's not reset. So then we continue. Then we hit the pink line. The pink line. What does the pink line do? Well, if you look over here on the side, the pink line goes along the track, along the selector panel, which is the teal here, and it determines whether or not you go up or down. If you go down, you're going to turn right, and if you go up, you're going to go up these tracks. It's going to turn the track. So anyways, let's say you were going down, right? And then finally you get to the track selection, where all of these are going to be bent this way, and if you don't, and you're going to keep going straight. unless you hit one that's bent the other way, and then you'll go off in that direction to wherever that track takes you. And then when that timer finishes, this track will reset. And then when you return, you will go along this way. You rejoin the upper track through the glowy tunnel and up this particular arrangement of trapdoors and carpet and more trapdoors. And that will kick you out on top, on the layer on top, while the cart remains down below and goes back into the reset system. Now, once it hits the reset system, the hoppers carry it along to this, which is a dropper. And that's a dropper, and that's a dispenser, which shoots it up to what's that called? To the launch system. So the way this elevator works, it's pretty spiffy, is this dropper is empty, but when it has something in it, the dispenser or the comparator will read a weak signal and put it into the brick. The repeater will pick up the weak signal and blast it to 15. So then it powers this block here, and that powers this redstone, which sends it in two directions. One direction, it sends it into the repeater and powers this this dropper. The next one goes into the side of the comparator. Now, if the signal going into the comparator is stronger than the signal coming that's being read by the comparator, it will turn off the comparator. It will turn it off. So this turns it on, which kicks up the item into 1, and then this one turns it off. The side thing turns it off. And then the hopper drops in the next item. And then the repeater not only powers this dropper, it also powers this dropper. So whatever's in this one is going to get kicked up again into the dispenser, which does not get powered by the repeater down here. But yeah, that's a spiffy little thing right here. This is spiffy. This is really nice. Easy to make. And then, of course, you have the minecart launcher. So that's a observer, and that's a string. If I touch the string as a player, it will activate everything. And you see it will like put another one up there. How does that work? Let me show you. Oh my. So back here, the observer will detect when the status of the string has been changed. It will fire off a signal to the piston, the sticky piston. The sticky piston will then extend itself and push the redstone block. Right now it's above the repeater, which can't read any signal except from the side. So it won't be activated by this. But when it's pushed out to here, the redstone is activated by the block, and it feeds in a signal into this line. This line will depower this redstone torch, depower this line, and turn off depower this brick, which turns off the dispenser. Then, when the sticky piston is retracted, the redstone block is taken away, and then the signal, everything resets. Yay! And it's awesome. I'm telling you. Okay, and it works. So there's my fantastic nether train station. All I have to do is find a way, or find a place to go. And I've got a few places, but yeah, it took me a long time to build this. And it looks pretty, right? It's pretty. It's pretty. One of the keys to recording on OBS is to make sure the refresh rate of your monitor is a multiple of 60. At first I had my monitor set at 170, but I was recording at 60, so my micro stutter was insane. Now that I've reduced my refresh rate to 120, which is a multiple of 60, the micro stutters have disappeared, and it's nothing but smooth gameplay for me. Smooth. All right, there's that part, right? I spent a lot of time working on that. I have not worked at all on the sheep farm, on the wool farm. I haven't worked on it at all, but I will, because like I have to. I mean, I don't have to, but it would be nice. And I'm thinking, you know, I don't like this big hole here. The big hole just sucks. I mean, like, how much work would it be just to extend this to like here, to the other side? I mean, I have to redo the pumpkin patch, but I don't really have to because I have that pumpkin farm over there. So that way I can build the sheep collection on top. Right? Wouldn't that make more sense than struggling to make another thing underneath here and then have to go down even more? I just want it on the same level. I don't want to have to go down. So that's easy. I can make a hollow hill. It's easy. And then, yeah, just smooth it out here. Wow. Smooth. Alright. So, that's enough of Minecraft, right? I mean, I'm sure you all love Minecraft. That's why you watch me, right? That's... Hold on. Let's see. My bank is telling me, hey, since you have notifications set up, we're gonna just spam you. I'm like, thanks, US Bank. Let's go to the Nether, dude, because that's like a new thing to look at. Something new to look at, right? Oh. Yeah, so I didn't explain real quick how this blue system works. So up there, up on these bricks right here are buttons all the way along. And then that's redstone dust right there. You can't hardly see it. But that goes into a repeater, which, yeah, it's set on no ticks, which goes into the solid block. Above it, right, okay, which right here, that's a dropper facing another dropper. That dropper is going straight up. Oh no. That dropper is going straight up into that hopper. So it goes, there's an item in this one. Or no, there's no item in this one. There's an item in this one. So this gets shot up, the item gets shot up into this dropper. This dropper will push it sideways before it goes down. So it pushes it sideways into this dropper, or hopper. And that hopper drops it into this dropper, which is read by the comparator. The comparator reads the signal, puts out a signal into this block, deactivating this torch, and then reactivating this torch, and reactivating this torch. So this torch activates the repeaters, which fires into this block, and then right there, you can kind of see, is a redstone lamp. That fires off the lamp. The other redstone torch, which I don't think you even need, really. I can just stick a redstone dust here. Yeah, this is unnecessary. What am I doing? It feeds into this block, which flips the track. Okay, there we go. There, I explained the whole thing now. Oh yeah, here the pink line. The pink line is interesting because that's the line that determines if you go up or down. So if you're an up track, it's gonna hit this. It doesn't matter, right? Because you can flip the polarity at the end. It doesn't matter. Essentially, though, you have it like this. So when you power the you can, okay. So when that comparator gets reads this dropper and sees something in it, it will put out a signal into this block. Because that block is powered, I believe it powers the redstone underneath it. Right there. When that redstone is powered, it's going to power this block that it's on. When that block is on, it's going to power this repeater, which is going to send the signal all the way to the end, which will either turn this on or flip it off. But if the signal happens in an in-between place, like say right here, there's no redstone to read the block above it, so it's not going to get picked up. It's not going to turn on. Only every other one will turn on the signal. And this is just a binary. This is either up or down. There's no other thing, on or off. That's it. It's just on or off. If it's on, it'll go that way. If it's off, it goes up. So that's all you got to do. So you need to limit these 11 choices into 2 choices, either on or off. Which, yeah, and that's what that does. Yay! Isn't that neat? What a great train station. It took me like a long time to learn how to do this. It took me like a stupid amount of time. I can't believe I even did it. And a lot of this is just a Frankenstein of 2 other train stations that I already learned how to do. But anyways, so yeah, what's going on in the real world? That's the important thing. Like, apparently I don't even know, right? Because I was ready to lose a whole lot of money betting that Kamala Harris would win the election. And boy was I wrong. Now, she didn't lose by that much. I'm hearing reports that as the votes come in, that Donald Trump actually did not win a majority of the popular vote. He just missed the majority of the popular vote. Or the majority of Americans in the popular vote. So like 49.999% of Americans voted for Donald Trump. But not everybody. Not a majority. He's still got the biggest popular vote tally, but he didn't get the majority of Americans. So yay, that's something to be happy about, I guess. So yeah, Donald Trump, man, I'm telling you guys, we as a country messed up. We as a country messed up yet again. Now, some people want to blame the Democrats and say, you guys did terrible because you ran to the middle again. I mean, who campaigns with Dick Cheney and, well, not Dick Cheney, but with what's his face? Well, what's her face? Liz Cheney. Who campaigns with Liz Cheney? Who campaigns with Liz, the daughter of Dick Cheney? Like Liz Cheney is only working with you, with the Democrats, because she wants to take over the Republicans once you kick out MAGA. That's it. She's not helping you because she believes in the country. She's not helping you because she believes in democracy and all that jazz. She knows what words to say but remember, she voted over 90% of the time with Donald Trump. I mean, like, maybe you millennials are too young to remember Dick Cheney, the vice president, but I do. I remember him, Dick Cheney, the vice president. He's one of the reasons why the United States went into Iraq, and then subsequently into Afghanistan. Well, first Afghanistan, then Iraq. So let me say it correctly, right? He's the one who sent us into Afghanistan, that 20+ year war. Well, and then he's the one who sent us into Iraq on a lie. Dick Cheney, and it's because Dick Cheney's former company named Halliburton rebranded to KGB or not KGB, Kellogg Brown and something. I don't know. I don't know what the name of the company is, but his company like changed from Halliburton to like 3 other names to cover up its tracks of how it took in billions of dollars worth of government contracts to do jobs that we used to have like soldiers do. And so the contractors were getting paid way more money than our own soldiers. It was a disgusting money grab that the Cheneys did. So why would you campaign with a family that fleeced the United States to make itself rich, and who only want to team up with you so they can become your next enemy? Like, Bernie Sanders was right there. Ah. Like, I know that the idea is you're trying to triangulate like Bill Clinton did. But maybe that might have worked in the 90s, but it won't work anymore. It doesn't work anymore. Like, I think the biggest group of people, the biggest block of voters in the 2024 election were people who didn't vote. I mean, like, they just didn't vote. They just didn't vote. For whatever reason. Maybe the voter suppression worked on them. Maybe it was like too hard for them. They just didn't want to take the time or energy to do it. Maybe because, and why didn't they want to take the time and energy to do it then? Why not? Yeah, like, voter suppression exists. Fine. Like, but some people were able to overcome it. So the question is, like, how do they overcome it? And it's like time and energy, dude. Time, money, and energy. That's how they overcame it. And if you have a candidate, if you have a campaign that doesn't energize people, doesn't get them like hyped up, like not just your base, but also your like the non-voter. That's who you're trying to get. Like, your base is your base, right? They're with you. You don't need to like pander to them. I mean, I guess you kind of do, right? But you need to get those non-voters, and you don't get the non-voters by being Republican light. I mean, Liz Cheney, like the daughter of the guy who fleeced the United States in the Iraq War. I mean, go talk to an Iraqi war vet and see how much you like the Cheneys after that. Remember, the Iraq War was totally unnecessary. It was totally unnecessary. It was us shooting ourselves in the foot. And why? So that the Cheneys and their companies could make a lot of money off of government contracts. Sound familiar? Like, cough cough, Elon Musk. He has SpaceX. He has government contracts. He has SpaceX. He has Starlink, Pentagon contracts. He did his stupid Boring Company, government contracts. Let me get some coffee. They did a tunnel system. He promised the city of Las Vegas he could design, because they wanted to do a light rail. They wanted to do like a light rail or a monorail in Las Vegas. And Elon Musk comes along and says, no, don't do that. Do my Boring Company. I got this machine that digs holes. Pay my company with taxpayer money to build you a prototype. And in these tunnels, you're not going to need train cars. You're going to use my electric car, Teslas, so that you can drive in them without emissions. So the city of Las Vegas stupidly gave Elon Musk a bunch of money to dig these stupid holes. So you have like a one lane circle that goes around downtown Las Vegas that you ride in Tesla cars to get around. So each car needs a driver. And traffic jams still happen because it's not a very good system. And then when it rains, the tunnels are pretty tight, so they start flooding. Like it's a bad system. But Elon Musk tricked the people of Las Vegas into giving him money to do it. So like it's the same thing, guys. Like I've already seen this. I've already seen this movie. Like what's it like when a fascist takes over your government? I'm all just raging. Raging and ranting. I've already seen this movie though. Really, honestly. Like, so the Democrats tried again to team up and move to the middle, get those Republican voters, maybe those Haley voters, I don't know. But the Haley voters must have went back to Trump. Like, because had 10% of them actually switched sides, then Harris would have been the winner. But instead we have, I don't think they switched. So what the Democrats should have done is stay true to who they are and follow the path of Bernie Sanders. Like, oh, hello, Mr. Go Away. Thanks. So yeah. Ranting. So here, I got something over here. What else do I got here? Alright. So, I'm not doing this because I'm like, shit on the USA, rah rah rah, it's crap. I mean, like, and yeah, there's aspects, but again, it's an imperfect, like, it's a thing that we made that it's not perfect, and it can be improved. It can be improved. I'm not ready to throw out the whole thing. Like, I think we can do it. The hype. Oh yeah, dude, that's right. Thanks for reminding me. Elon Musk also promised the state of California that he could make a hyperloop, a vacuum-sealed tube where he could like transport people and goods or something in his vacuum-sealed tube. And if California abandoned its plan to do a high-speed rail, that he could do it even better. He's always going after government contracts, Elon Musk. Just like the Cheneys. Just like the Cheneys. They're no different. So the Dems campaigning with Republicans in order trying to peel off votes off of Donald Trump was doomed to fail. It was doomed to fail. The biggest block of people that are up for grabs are the non-voter. The way you get the non-voter is not by doing Republican light, but by staying true to your ideals and truly committing to it. And Bernie Sanders had the plan, and I think the Democrats marginalized Bernie Sanders quite a bit. I mean, sure, they made him chair of the budget committee, and then the figure his committee came out with was like $6 trillion. We need a $6 trillion investment in order in infrastructure in order to get this off the road. And Joe Manchin and the Republicans came out with, I'll give you $150 billion, but not $6 trillion. And at the end of the day, they went with the Republican plan. So, Go Away says, the idea was no air resistance means better fuel efficiency, but like, then you have to get out of your vehicle in an emergency and then your lungs explode. Yeah, amongst other things. Like, how difficult is it to maintain a vacuum over like hundreds and thousands of miles? That's a lot. Like, Like with no air leaks, man, that's really hard. And what it feel like? Think of the energy that takes in comparison to the energy you save with in a no air resistance situation. The thing is that Japanese have been doing it for like decades now with the Shinkansen. They've been doing it for decades. You know, how do you overcome air resistance? Your train is made like a cylinder, so it pierces through the air. Like air resistance is meaningless. Like now they're working on a maglev train, dude. That's amazing. But to get maglev, you need superconductors or fusion power. Yeah, exactly. Elon Musk takes an old idea and like twists it and says, "I figured this out." I took an old idea and made it worse. Give me money. Oh. Oh man, oh man. So, holy shit. So yeah, the Dems, you're out in the woods now, guys, and I know you're gonna have lots of time to be like, haha, I told you so, but it's no fun when you're also in the pot that's boiling. Like, so one boiling frog says to the other, haha, I told you. Ah, who fucking cares, dude? You're gonna die. So, yeah, if you want to get power, and like, you need to activate that 40% of people who didn't bother to vote. And the way you activate them is not by being Republican light. It's by promising them the stars. Okay, what else do I got? Okay, so over here in Oregon, and it happened in Nevada, they had a vote to institute ranked choice voting. Let's go back here. Ranked choice voting. Now I say our union isn't like perfect, but it can be better. It can be improved. We can fix this thing, is what I'm saying. And one way of fixing it would be to institute ranked choice voting. Because until we institute ranked choice voting, we are subject to Duviger's law. Duviger's law says that in a two-party, first-past-the-post system, any third party is going to take away votes from the party it's closest to. No matter what. It's the logic of the system. As long as we're stuck in a two-party system, that's what was going to happen. So in our 2024 election, the main parties were Democrats with Kamala Harris and the Republicans with Donald Trump. But to the left of the Democrats were Jill Stein on the Green Party and Cornel West of the I don't know what party. So, and then over here on the right, you had RFK Jr. These are third parties that had no chance of winning on their own. None. However, because of Duviger's law, what they did do was hurt the people they were closest to. So Jill Stein and Cornel West stole votes, not stole, but took votes away from Kamala Harris. Took 0 votes away from Donald Trump. They only took votes away from Kamala Harris. RFK Jr. was intended to hurt the Democrats, Kamala Harris. That was his intent. When he ran, he was intended to be over here so he would siphon even more votes away from the Democrats and none from Donald Trump. But as the truth came out, it turned out RFK Jr. was actually a right-winger, just like Donald Trump. So he started to hurt Donald Trump because, why? Duviger's law. People who would have normally voted for Donald Trump started voting for RFK Jr. Now, in a first-past-the-post, two-party system, like anything that takes away from the biggest group is going to hurt the biggest group. So RFK Jr. is now hurting the Republicans, Donald Trump. they're being funded. He's being funded by the Republicans and Donald Trump. So in order to stop him from hurting them so much, they pretty much gave him a job in the government and told him to end his campaign, and he agreed. So not only did he agree to end his campaign, he went to court to take his name off the ballot in those places he was already on the ballot. So, because he understood Duverger's law, and if his name was on the ballot, he could potentially take away votes from Republicans. So this is a shitty situation, because it distorts the will of the voter. Like, there are legitimately people who don't want to vote for Kamala Harris. There's legitimately people like that. You know, they're not dumb, they're not stupid, they recognize things that you don't recognize. Maybe they're just more true to their values. Like, they understand that like, you have to make you have to do the thing for it to happen. So yeah, they wanted to vote in another direction for people who are saying stuff. But the problem is, under the two-party system, they're going to hurt their cause by doing this. They hurt their cause by doing this. Yeah, so Go Away says, did you notice Trump was completely absent from the Oregon voters pamphlet? The party didn't pay the fee. They didn't pay the fee. They didn't write anything. That's right. And then Chandra Raychick, or whoever the owner is of Libs of TikTok, she mentioned it and said, isn't that curious that Donald Trump wasn't in the voter pamphlet? And that caused her audience, her right-wing audience, to bombard the state of Oregon's election hotline with complaints of election fraud by not including him, without understanding that the reason why he wasn't in the pamphlet is because he didn't fucking pay. He didn't even bother. He's like, I'm not going to win Oregon. I'm not even going to try. But his followers managed to create chaos by bombarding the line. And then, don't forget, somebody fucking dropped a bomb into the drop boxes to burn up the ballots of Washington and Oregon voters. Not Arizona voters, not Tennessee voters, not Alabama voters, only liberal states. Man, it's fucked up. Things are fucked up. Okay, so we had a chance to break out of this Duverger's law, because we're stuck because of two-party system. The first past the post system, we're stuck with two main parties, and if any third party tries to jump in, they're going to hurt the cause they fight for. So in order to overcome this, there's this thing called ranked choice voting, where the voter is empowered amongst 5 candidates. In the first past the post system, they can only vote for one person. Their vote is only good for one person. That's all they can do. But with ranked choice voting, they can vote for multiple people, not just one. They rank them, so you can vote for who you really want. And if they don't win, if they come in last place, you don't just lose your vote. Nor do you hurt the candidate you're closest to, your entire cause. You don't hurt your entire cause. Instead of your vote just evaporating, it moves to your number 2 position. And if your number 2 position doesn't work out, then it moves to your number 3 position. So, in other words, your vote always gets counted. You can vote for who you really want without hurting anybody. Like, nobody is going to get hurt by additional third parties. Nobody gets hurt. Nobody gets hurt. It's an evolved way of voting. Maybe back in the day, all our ancient ancestors could think of was the first past the post system, because they're manually fucking counting shit and like by candlelight and shit. so maybe that was the best they could do. But we're in the modern age, dude. We have like machines that can count thousands of ballots instantaneously, and they can deal with all these variables that humans can't, and humans can still deal with it if you want to take the time. It just takes a lot of time and labor. But this is an evolved way of voting. So both Oregon and Washington or Nevada voted on this and turned it down. They voted against it, which is interesting because there are 2 races, one in each state, that hinged on the third-party vote. So in Oregon's Congressional District 5, the Democrat ended up winning because the Republican votes that would have normally went to the Republican ended up voting for third party. And the third party vote was by the margin that it took for the Democrat to win. So even though there are technically more conservative voters under this system, the liberal candidate won with less people. Same thing in Nevada. There was I forget which district it was, but it was really close between the Democrat and the Republican, but there were two independent candidates on the right who got votes, and the votes they got were of the margin of victory that gave it to the Democrat. In other words, had we not a first past the post system, those votes that went to the third party would be transferred to the Republican, and then the Republican would have won. So I'm not saying let's do the system because I want conservatives to win. No, I'm saying it because this system is a more accurate representation of the will of the voter, of the people. Number one. Number two, you cannot game it by introducing third parties. You can't game it. So Donald Trump understood Duverger's law and the limitations of the third party of the two-party system. That's why his team bankrolled RFK Jr. to run to the left of Harris, of the Democrats. The problem was that RFK Jr. isn't to the left of the Democrats. he's to the right of Trump. But he still tried to. He still tried it. I mean, yeah, I don't want to have to play that clip again of him. I'm so sick of hearing him. Anyways, but there was one state that ranked choice voting did survive, and that's Alaska. Wah, wah, wah. Alaska. Ranked choice voting was on the ballot, or was used in the 2020 election, and that's when Alaska elected its first Democratic senator in like years and years and years. So of course the conservatives like, well shit, we got to get rid of this system. Fuck this noise. Let's go back to the old system. Because remember, Republicans aren't really interested in democracy. They're interested in power. They're like, we had more power under the less democratic system, so let's go back. So they attempted to pass that law, right? They attempted to do it. But they failed by like 600 votes. Statewide, they failed by 600 votes. So Alaska kept its ranked choice voting. And if we look at the breakdown of the votes, so the brown is closer to 100, and the purple is closer to like 0, like to support it, to support to repeal ranked choice voting. So interestingly, I don't know much of Alaska geography, so I don't understand where is Anchorage or whatever. I think Anchorage is in there. Yeah, Anchorage is probably right here. So that's where all the people live. And they voted no, and parts of Anchorage voted hella no. But what's interesting, what's right here, this is the interesting part, is that I think the natives live out here, where they all voted hell no. And I think it was like something like 60-30 to hell no. Hell no, we want to keep we want to keep ranked choice voting. So the overall picture that you should get is that Republicans and conservatives don't like ranked choice voting, don't like a better voting system. They want to keep a worse system. But natives and minorities want a better voting system, of the voter to have more power. Ranked choice voting means the voter has more power. So interesting. Go natives. See, that's the thing. Natives, like for sure, natives and and black people have like the best like vision. they can see, they understand white supremacy like really well. If you don't know what's going on, just follow black people or Native Americans. Just follow them. Okay. So here's the problem that white Americans have. They overestimate the number of minorities and the size of minorities. They overestimate it by a lot, by huge amounts. So Americans overestimate the size of minority groups and underestimate the size of most majority groups. Estimated proportions are calculated by averaging weighted responses, ranging from 0 to 100%, rounded to the nearest whole percentage. To the question, if you had to guess, what percentage of American adults are da-da-da-da? True proportions were drawn from a variety of sources, including the U.S. Census Bureau, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, and polls by YouGov and other polling firms. So people believe that 20% of Americans are millionaires. So people believe that 20% of Americans are millionaires, when in actuality, less than 1% are millionaires. I can, like, the last episode, I showed you in proportion, Minecraft block proportions, the difference in wealth of the various quintiles of Americans. Remember, like, the billionaires were like 0.06% or something stupid like that. The millionaires, just the millionaires. But Americans believe 20% are Americans. Americans believe 21% of the population are transgender, when really it's 1%. It's a tiny percentage. So Americans believe 26% of Americans have an income of over $500,000, when actually only 1% of Americans have an income over $500,000. So Americans vastly overestimate the number of wealthy people in the United States. They vastly overestimate the number of people who are Muslims. Only 1% of Americans are Muslims, but Americans believe it's like 27%. Only 1% of Americans are Native American, but Americans think it's 27%. It's like white America. Only 2% are Jewish, but white Americans believe it's 30%. Only 3% of Americans live in New York City, but Americans believe it's 30%. I mean, you can, like, it's, oh shit. It's crazy like that. It's crazy. Like, look at any of these, right? Americans believe African Americans, black Americans, are 41% of the population. They believe that, when actually they're only 12%. So, if you think about some generalizations, I guess stereotypes, of conservative-minded Americans, and you think, oh, these people have strange ideas. Their ideas are messed up. Why don't they want to help people out? Like, why don't they want to help, like, people who are marginalized? Why don't they want to do it? And then you look at what they think the sizes of the minority groups are. They believe 41% of Americans are black Americans. So yeah, like, you would think other perspectives might be warped and broken. Like, why would you want to spend money to help 41% of Americans? That's a huge amount if that's what you really believe. But the truth is nowhere near that. Anyways. Okay. What's this next one? Department of Education. So Elon Musk wants to get rid of, or not Elon Musk, but Donald Trump wants to get rid of the Department of Education, the Federal Department of Education. So it's a federal office, and what it does is it gives money, it collects money from the states, and then it redistributes that money back to the states. So what do we got here? And when we break down the money, you see at the bottom is how is the percentage of people who voted for Donald Trump. And over here, you have federal money as a percentage of total revenue. In other words, how much money you give versus how much money you take. So it turns out a lot of the states that voted for Donald or for Harris, they end up contributing money. They're at the lower end of it, right? Which means they receive less federal money than the states at the other side that are higher up. So the states that tend to receive money are the states that voted for Donald Trump to get rid of the Department of Education. So they voted to get rid of the department that gives them money. Okay. I mean, I don't know. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Double standard. Weird how black women with Harvard degrees and 20 years of experience are called DEI hires, but some random dude on Fox News is expertly qualified to run the department of whatever. Right? Bishop Talbert Swan. Calling a black president of the United States, married 25 years to one wife with 2 children, no mistresses, affairs, or scandals, you call him the Antichrist. But a white president, married 3 times, 5 kids by 3 women, mistresses, affairs, and scandals, you call this guy God's appointed. That proves your religion is white supremacy. Like, double standard number 3. Just reminder to the people still here. Kamala had a plan to lower food costs, cut student debt, $25,000 help with buying a first home, $6,000 for a new baby, $3,000 a year to help with children, a plan to make housing more available by blocking private equity from buying homes, and Trump had a plan to place white men above everyone else and to use his office to exact revenge on anybody he doesn't like. And nearly 50% of voters thought his plan was better. You can never convince me it was because of credibility or experience. It was strictly out of hate of some group of people. It sure as shit wasn't about cost of living. I lost my viewer, but that's okay. Ellie Mistel says, Dems, here is some help. Rural whites, cool. Do I have to share that help with black people? Dems, yeah. Rural whites, fuck you, take your help and shove it. White pundits, Dems really need a better messaging to white working class workers. I mean, not to white working class workers. I mean, kinda, yeah. I mean, the one thing I think... yeah. I kind of agree. I mean, sure, right? She had a better plan. And Biden... what's it called? Biden, delivered on a lot of things. I mean, they rebuilt that bridge in Baltimore like super quick. And like, you're gonna see all the things that Biden did, you're gonna see coming into fruition. But the voters didn't hear it because they didn't hear it. They didn't hear anything. They don't have, I don't know, maybe a very good memory. I don't know. But I think going with Cheney was a bad idea. Moving to the right was a bad idea. Like, Republicans are gonna paint the Democrats as socialists no matter what. No matter what they do, they're gonna paint you as a socialist. So you might as well go all out, right? You can't tailor your message to what the Republicans are saying. You can't like react to the Republicans. You have to act decisively. Elon Musk spent at least $130 million to elect Trump, despite $3,300 being the maximum an individual can legally donate. His increase in wealth by $333 million each day. But tell me again how taxing billionaires and campaign finance reform are radical, far-left policies. Right? It's the fucking rich, dude. It's the rich. So here, you want to see a juxtaposition? It is justified. Joe Biden welcomes ICC arrest warrant for Vladimir Putin. U.S. President says Russian leader has clearly committed war crimes and moves make it a very strong point. So, interesting, right? But then you have this. International Criminal Court has issued arrest warrants for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, former Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, and a senior Hamas official, accusing them of war crimes during and after the October 7th attacks on Israel last year. So when that happens, oh, now the United States is like, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. And Trump is saying, oh, we're gonna like defund you if you try to arrest Netanyahu. So like double standard, right? That's a double standard. All these double standards from different positions. Some from Republicans, some from Democrats. So, the same Republicans who spent years and tens of millions of dollars on our tax dollars demanding to see the contents of a laptop belonging to Joe Biden's private citizen son don't want to see the ethics report on the former congressman Trump wants to make our nation's attorney general? What? Alright, so in other words, Republicans spent millions of dollars to show Hunter Biden's dick pics. But they don't want to show Nat Gates' sexual assault investigation. The guy who wants to be the attorney general. It's because Republicans don't actually have principles. They're only interested in power. That's why it was a bad idea to campaign with Republicans. Mike Johnson wrote a bill to prohibit individuals from accessing or using single-sex facilities on federal properties other than those corresponding to their biological sex. Well then, what is biological sex? So what happened was there was a representative elected to the House of Representatives who is transgendered. She's transgendered. She's transgendered. But Mike Johnson is fighting the culture war. So he passed a bill saying that you can only go to the bathroom corresponding to your quote biological sex. Well, what is biological sex? My dude's famous. I don't know. Hey, Fizzy B Contortion. So, what is biological sex, right? Because, like, he acts as if he knows what biological sex is. They wrote a fucking law about it. But, yo, seriously, what's up with this noise? Well, I went to the biologists and been like, yo, Mr. Biologist, what are you doing? And they said, oh, okay, they said, actually, biological sex is a spectrum. It has nothing to do with binaries, it's a spectrum. You have, so we check this out. A transgendered woman is a person who was assigned male at birth based on her anatomy, but who identifies as a woman. A cisgendered woman is a person who was assigned female at birth based on her anatomy and who also identifies as a woman. A non-binary person is someone who identifies as neither completely female nor completely male. Such an individual may identify with both genders or neither gender, or they may be gender fluid, meaning their gender fluctuates between male, female, and male. A transgendered man is a person who was assigned female at birth based on his anatomy, but who identifies as a man. A cisgendered man is a person who was assigned male at birth based on his anatomy and who also identifies as a man. Now, that's different from sexuality. Sexuality refers to an individual's sexual orientation or to the kind of person to whom they are attracted. Sexuality is also a spectrum, but is separate from both sex and gender. Da da da. So here we have, right, factors that determine sex. That's one thing. You have chromosomes. If you have 46 X chromosomes, you're going to identify closer to typical biological female. You can't see. Let me see. Get out of the way. Typical biological female. Right. But if you have a CYP21A2 gene mutation, you're going to have congenital adrenal hyperplasia and elevated male hormones. You're going to have an enlarged clitoris, fused labia, short vagina, normal ovaries, uterus, and cervix. So your genitals can be modified to look more typically female, but you will have possible irregular menstrual periods, decreased fertility, increased body hair. So hormonal birth control can regulate the effects of male hormones, so that by puberty you're kind of on the feminine side of the spectrum. But all sorts of things can happen, right? maybe any one of these things. I mean, like, Jesus Christ, I can't even keep up. Like, all sorts of things can happen. Your genes can have you right in the middle, mixed gonads, and then like you're just like straight up non-binary. But you can use hormones at puberty to accentuate one side or the other. Like, there's all sorts of things. So biological sex is not a binary. It can be anything up here, anything around here. It's dumb. Like, remember, transgender people are only 1% of the population. Remember this thing here? Only 1% of the population is transgendered. But people like Mike Johnson think it's something like 21%. They completely overestimate the population of transgendered people. So Mike Johnson passed a law to discriminate against 1% of the population based on his faulty understanding of biological sex. Why would he do that? Why would he do that? Because fascism. Oop, wrong one. This one. Fascism. Not that it should matter, but Republicans have no intention of stopping with trans people. Genociders never do. Machines built to eat people don't stop until they run out of people. In other words, fascists look for vulnerable populations, that they can dehumanize, because they're betting that the population won't come out to defend these marginalized groups, so they can dehumanize them. But does that satisfy the fascists? No! They're always in need of scapegoats. So once they've completely eliminated one group, they will simply find another group to scapegoat, the next marginalized group, and then they'll see if the population reacts to the dehumanization of this particular group. And if not, then they'll completely consume that group and then move on to the next group. They never stop. The fascists never stop. It's a fucking train, dude. So what I want people to see is that there are three ways of saying the same thing. Fascism will always attack the most marginalized first, but they won't stop there. No one is safe in a fascist system. The only way for everyone to be safe is whatever will safeguard the most marginalized. And finally, this is why it is in your own self-interest as a dominant group member to intervene when someone from any marginalized group is targeted. It's in my best interest to defend trans people. It's in my best interest. Like, I'm sure trans people are nice, but if you want to be as selfish as possible, it has nothing to do with trans people. I'm doing this for my own safety, for my own well-being. Because after the fascists are done with the trans people, they're going to move on to the next group. And how many groups till they get to me? You've all read the poem. First they came from the communists, but I wasn't a communist, so I said nothing. Then they came for the socialists, but I'm not a socialist, so I said nothing. Then they came for the trade unionists, but I'm not a trade unionist, so I said nothing. Then they came for the Jews, but I'm not Jewish, so I said nothing. Then they came for me, but by that point there was no one left to say anything. So if you want to look at this from the most selfish position possible, you fight fascism not for everyone else's benefit, but for your own benefit. Everyone's a minority if you look hard enough. Remember, every kind of marginalization is socially constructed too. Vulnerability is not a natural artifact. Vulnerability comes from occupying a less protected social status. If you're safe today, you may not be safe tomorrow. If anyone is unsafe, no one is safe. That's the way it is. If you need a reason to fight fascism, and you want to be as selfish as possible, you fight fascism because you're saving your own ass. Fascism will eat everybody. Anybody. You're not safe just because you're in the dominant group. Everyone's a minority when you look hard enough. So, the problem I have with the fascists is that, in fact, I'm in the wrong world. I need to go back to my old world. Let me go back. I already built this in another world. Is this the one? Simply having a wonderful Christmas time. I've already done this. So, the kind of society I want to see is one of democracy with human rights and rule of law. I want a society in which everyone, if this is the law, if this block symbolizes the law, I want everyone to be the same distance from the law. In fact, I should probably put it up here, so that no one is above the law. No one's above the law, where the law can't. No, the law is not subject to them. I want everyone. I don't care if you're rich, if you're poor, if you're black, if you're white, if you're gay, if you're straight, if you're transgendered, if you're atheist, if you're Christian, if you're Muslim. I don't care. I want everyone to be equal relative to the law. That's my ideal. That's my ideal. That's the American ideal. The American ideal is democracy, human rights, and rule of law. Rule of law is that we have no king, we have no elites who are above the law. Everyone, we make the law universal for everybody. That is what I want. However, Donald Trump and Republicans have a different way of thinking. Donald Trump and the Republicans have neo-feudalism. They believe in neo-feudalism, in which you have some people who are subject to the law, and you have some people who are above the law. See, it's made of dirt, because humans are clay and dirt, right? All right. So this is fascism, white supremacy, rule of power. So not only, so the structure of your society isn't equal before the law, it's hierarchical. Some people are above the law, and many people are so low that the law will never ever protect them. They are underground. They will never be protected by the law. And the design of their structure is to take the wealth and concentrate it at the top. So here, let's go over here. So what you got here is the structure of the fascists, of neo-feudalism, the structure they want, right? And then what happens is the money, capitalism's tendency to concentrate power and wealth. Any wealth generated by society is going to be siphoned up to the top. So only the elite can access it, and everyone else suffers. So that creates this social structure where this person is above the law, he is protected by the law, but never subject to the law. And then these people under here are subject to the law, but never protected by the law. It creates a hierarchical situation. So what does that look like? It's neo-feudalism. Let's draw another example here. So historical feudalism has the monarch at the top. The monarch is at the top is served by the nobles. The nobles have underneath them the knights and the vassals. Underneath the knights and vassals are the merchants, the farmers, and the craftsmen. And at the very, very, very bottom of the social structure, who do all the work and get none of the benefit, are the low-paid workers, the peasants, and the serfs. People who are tied to the land, who can never leave the land. And then once a year, these guys will come by and take like a bunch of their crop and just leave them with very little food left over for their family and for them to survive on of. And it goes all the way to the top. So in neo-feudalism, all you do is you make replacements. Instead of the monarch, now you have billionaires. Instead of the nobles, you have corporations. Instead of knights and vassals, you have politicians and the media. Instead of the merchants, farmers, and craftsmen, now you have the middle class. Instead of the peasants and serfs, now you have low-paid workers and the unemployed. This is the social structure Donald Trump and the Republicans are going to bring into power. This is what was voted into existence. Kind of shitty, man. Kind of shitty. I don't want to see this. I'm not down for this noise. But this is how they're going to try to shape us into this way. And the way they do this is remember, it's all built on human sacrifice. They have to find a scapegoat. because this is going to create problems. And the way they sidestep the problem is they sacrifice a marginalized group. Right now they're trying to sacrifice trans people, but they'll sacrifice Muslims, no problem. They'll sacrifice black people, they'll sacrifice Hispanics, they'll sacrifice gays, they'll sacrifice Native Americans, they'll sacrifice women. Neo-feudalism. The Oregon Housing Report came out. A government report on Oregon housing. What is it? Oregon saw a 21% population growth between 2004 and 2023, equaling more than 753,000 people. To keep pace with the growth, the state must add about 500,000 housing units in the next 2 decades. For every extra $1 Oregonians earned, the median sales price of a home increased by $7.10. So if you got a $1 raise, thinking, yay, I'm going to make some money now. No, because the price of housing increased by $7. Both renters and homeowners are significantly cost burdened, and more than half of renters and 1/3 of homeowners spend more than 30% of their income on housing. The state is approximately 128,000 affordable housing units short right now for people who are considered extremely low income or very low income. Many of the fastest growing occupations in the state do not pay high enough wages for people to afford a 1-bedroom apartment. Not even a 1-bedroom. Evictions are going up. The number of eviction cases filed in 2023 was the highest Oregon has seen since 2011. Oregon ranks 3rd in the nation for people experiencing homelessness and 1st in the nation for unsheltered homelessness among family with children when adjusted for population size. More than 20,000 people were experiencing homelessness in Oregon, with 3 in 10 considered chronically homeless as of 2023. Oregonians are facing the least affordable housing market since the pandemic began in 2020. Damn, dudes. So we gotta do something fucking major. Man, this is like a great base I made. Nah, what a great base. I think I made this whole base on a tiny little island in the ocean. And it's an old world too, so like a bunch of old world generation. Look at my old train station. Built almost exactly the same way. Except this one goes back down. Unnecessarily. And it has a funky reset timer. I can't see anything. It's so dark. So dark here. How do you go down? To check it out. Isn't there like a way down? Right there. Can't get anywhere. I can't see anything. Where's the reset? The reset is like in there. Like right there. I can't see anything. Oh well. Oh well. But see, it's the same like idea. Oh, here's the reset. This is the reset line. Oh, it's at the end. No. Yeah. Eh. Why would I do that? Why would I put it at the end? I don't know. I don't know why. It doesn't work though, man. Like, how does this ever... Where does it even go? Like, it's not gonna work. Anyways, okay. What else do I got here? Three reminders. Handmaid's Tale has already been here the whole time. It was pointed at radicalized women. Racism is fascism that hasn't yet come for the white people. The future is already here. It's just unevenly distributed. Look at that. Simply having a wonderful Christmas time. Stop it. Where does this one go? Another train station. But look, it's the same problem. It only resets at the end. I don't get it, man. Yeah, see, it's set right now to go this way. Oh wait, no, this is the... No, this is the front. So yeah, this is correct. Look! Oh yeah, you have an extra one. That's why. But it doesn't go back. You would think a minecart would trigger this again. It does. But it doesn't... Yeah, it can go through for some reason. Why? Why? I don't understand. Look at these blocks, dude. Oh, these blocks. What a nice train station. All I could ever want. Oh wait, there's a does it work anymore? Gold farm. Don't even know if it works. Torches? Yeah, there's nothing up here. Dude, I can't believe I spent the time to build all this. It's just insane. I just stand here. Oh, look. The golem died. That's why I get no more experience points. Because the golems died. I used to get experience for this, but... yeah, there was a golem in there, and now he's not. Can I do another one? I don't think I can even build up here. Nope. Too high! You're too high. Oh, missed. Well, I've got a pumpkin. I can make shears. Do I even need to? I don't know. But I did. Make a few more blocks. Just in case. Alright, let's see if I can save this farm. Oh no, I can't. Not with this guy here. Yeah, how am I gonna get? I can't. Oh hey, maybe. Oh no, I can't. I have to like. I have to move that egg. And then replace it somehow. Okay, there's that one. Now I have to put the egg back. I need a slab, and I can't make a slab. How did I even get it on there? How did I get the egg on there? Are you down? The egg has to be like... right above you. Can I put it on the side like that? Oh yeah, I can! Hey! I don't know. Oh, I can't jump out now. Okay. I don't think they care. Alright, see what happens. Nope, they don't care anymore. Like, we don't care. Oh wait, no, they do care. These guys care. These guys on the edges don't care. Oh no, they're going. Oh, but they hit the golem. They hit him. Not anymore, you don't. Poor golem. Hey, did I fix it? Did I save it? I think I did. It's saved. It's saved. They go through lava. Okay, I'm getting all this experience. Does it still work though? Yeah, my guy is not getting hurt. It looks like I saved it. But maybe not. I'm not getting XP anymore. Am I even getting gold? No, I get nothing. It doesn't work anymore. This farm is broken. The golem is not enough. I thought it would be enough, but it's not. They don't care about me. But look, it's not... But if I put it down, then they... Yeah, so if I put it down, they can hit him. And they're just gonna kill him, dude. They're just gonna kill you. Is there a way you can hit them with that? How can I save this farm? Is there a way to save this farm? Let's see. No. If he doesn't hit them, then it doesn't count. How about now? Oh shit, the baby pigs. They just smack him on the way down. I don't know what to do about this. What if they stop a little bit sooner? Well, I'll have to do this later. Sorry about that. Little Minecraft side adventure. But yeah. We're gonna go to a bad time. And nothing you can do about it. Hey, I mean, like, I would just say take care of one another. That's about all we can do right now. So, alright, I'll catch you later. Alright, peace. Pogokiro out. Stop.